Hey everybody, and welcome to Let's Play Our Darker Purpose. Now, you may or may not have seen the thousands of videos that people are posting about this game, because I'm pretty sure every Let's Player on YouTube is doing a series on this. Well, not everyone, not like all the ones that just do like Battlefield videos and first-person shooter games, but for Let's Player that plays any ensemble of indie games, that was a weird sentence, I think is doing a Let's Play on this. But, you know, it's a really interesting and fun game, so I thought I would start a series about it too, and, you know, maybe along the road, some of them will drop their series. Maybe I'll drop the series. Who knows? But I want to experience this as much as I can while it's still exciting to me on camera. So we're going to jump in here. I've played about 2 hours of this game before recording this, so I do know how the game works. I thought about just like jumping in and recording everything from off the bat, but then like I tried, and then it was awful. And yeah, it's not going to happen. So what do we have here? We've got a twin-stick shooter roguelike game, much like The Binding of Isaac. You might actually be saying, whoa, this looks a lot like The Binding of Isaac, and you wouldn't be wrong. It's almost at the point where I'd call it a Binding of Isaac-like instead of just a roguelike, because it's really similar to The Binding of Isaac, if nothing else than just being a twin-stick shooter with roguelike elements, and the visual style itself is pretty similar. It's got kind of creepy overtones, and, you know, it's just overall weird, but it's actually quite a different game. And so let's talk about what's on the screen first, and then I'll talk about how similar and different it is to The Binding of Isaac, because I think that's a good way to kind of let people know exactly what they're getting into here. A lot of people are familiar with The Binding of Isaac, so they'll be able to kind of relate this game to it and understand it more easily, I guess is what I'm trying to say. But on the screen here, you see we have our character, who's actually pretty adorable, and the game itself has kind of basic animations. I mean, it's like almost like a cutout paper, you know, original South Park style visual style, but you know, the animations are actually really well done in my opinion. And the character, as you can see, she gets like if you walk in one direction and shoot in the other, she almost has like this unsettled look about her, like she's not too sure what's going on, and I don't know. I feel like the animations are just good enough to make me really get attached to the character and really wish for her success. Like, similar to The Binding of Isaac, I mean, you know, it's a little less subtle in that game. You're a little kid and your mom's trying to kill you because she's like seen or heard the voice of God and God has told her to kill you. And it's a little more obvious and creepy, but this game, it's like, you really want to fight for her. You want her to survive. But this is a good, a little bit early of a segue, but it's a good chance to show you one of the key differences in this game from The Binding of Isaac, and that's you get experience points as you go on, and you level up, and you get to pick perks as you level up, much similar to Nuclear Throne. Except in this case, we have to pick from 2, and the 2 we have here is 1 Flew Under the Ranged Attack, plus 20% movement speed, or the Item Drop Lottery, plus 5% attack speed, bonus 50% likelihood of additional champion spawn per floor. Now, champions are the main way you get items in this game. Bosses don't drop items, and there's no item room like The Binding of Isaac. You just have to kill champions and get items, and sometimes a treasure chest will spawn that'll have an item in it. So the Item Drop Lottery is actually a very good perk to get, especially on the first floor, because that'll essentially just get us the maximum number of bonus items. Now this item right here is one that I don't particularly like, but I'm gonna pick it up just for the sake of, you know, it's gonna be the first item, we might as well pick it up, right? So what this item is the Trust Walk Blindfold, plus 25% attack speed, but slightly alters your shot angle. And what that means is it kind of gives us a random spread here of the shot. So it's gonna be less accurate, but I'm gonna be firing faster, so overall I should be doing more damage. But that's another key difference to The Binding of Isaac, I guess, is that it actually tells you what the items do, right, when you pick them up. I've fucked myself in a corner here. But, yeah, we never talked about what was on the screen. So, in the bottom there, you can see that's our main UI. And at the top left, you see juice, or it says Q and then 4 out of 4. That's our juice box number. And what juice boxes do is they actually heal us for 20 HP per juice box. So, instead of finding red hearts on the floor from certain enemy drops, you actually just get juice boxes and you get to heal yourself whenever you feel the need to. This is the equivalent of a shop. It's a vending machine, and much like The Binding of Isaac shops, they sell, like, you know, consumable items and then some usable items. So that's another similarity, but we don't really have any money to make that worthwhile right now. But continuing to explain the UI. Oh, here's a treasure chest room. This is actually interesting because I haven't really come across this one yet. And this is going to be the Fragile Roly-Poly. Gain 50% ability to dodge on roll. Destroyed after taking 150 damage. That's another interesting thing about this this game, is some of the items actually break after you take a certain amount of damage. And those items tend to be really good, so it's in your best interest to not let them break. But it's really hard, because, you know, it's hard to dodge damage. But let's explain the UI before I go into this boss room here. So underneath the Q, it's the space bar, which is permanently bound to our dodge roll here. Now the dodge roll doesn't make you invulnerable, but it's a great way to speed up and get you out of the range of bullets. Much like if you've watched any of my Nuclear Throne videos, the fish active ability, he dodge rolls and it lets you get out of the range of a whole bunch of nonsense. So to the right of that is our health and experience. Our health is the 92 out of 100. And the experience is the little black diamond above that. It'll slowly fill up with orange, and once it reaches the top, we'll level up and get to pick another perk. Next to that is our E ability, which is much like the Binding of Isaac space items. You'll find an item that you can use along throughout the game, and then it'll go to that slot, and you push E to use it. And then on R is chalk. Basically, you form like a chalk cloud, and that's pretty funny. There's a dialogue going on in some of the rooms. It's pretty funny. There's a lot of like really interesting lore that happens just while you're playing the game. But the chalk clouds, let's not get distracted here. The chalk clouds block projectiles as well as do damage to enemies. And you could get different things that upgrade your chalk clouds. They're pretty much like the bombs of Binding of Isaac. I'm going to be making a lot of comparisons to the Binding of Isaac because that's what I feel like this game resembles the most. But don't get me wrong, it's not like a blatant clone of it. There's a lot of different things that this game does differently. And most importantly, I think, is this game is really, really hard. It's pretty unforgiving. So here's the first boss fight. It's a dragon, Frothy the dragon to be specific, and he's pretty easy. The one thing that's really weird about him is his hitbox is kind of fucked up, I guess, is what I'm gonna call it. But like, if you hit anywhere, it looks like he's flying, right? So you should only be able to take damage on the parts that are actually like touching the ground or whatever. But if you hit any part of his drawn body or drawn figure, you just take damage, and it's kind of bullshit, but you know, I've gotten used to it, so I don't really think about it too much anymore. We're doing really good here. We haven't taken damage yet, and I hesitated to say that because I feel like we're gonna take damage now that I have said that, but I'll try to dodge as best as I can. I think he's gonna hit me. Oh no, he didn't. Okay, so we got an achievement, Playing with Fire, defeat Frothy the dragon without taking damage. I'll touch up on what exactly that unlocks later on in this video after I die. I'm gonna die. Spoiler alert, it's gonna happen. But now that we beat the boss and explored all the rooms, we push F to complete level on this crystal. It gives us an overall grade for the room, and it gives us 1 credit, which I will also explain later. But I've never gotten anything better than a B. I've gotten 1 B, and then the rest I've gotten Ds. I think it judges you based on time and damage taken and enemies defeated, obviously, because look at that. That's all the stats it's showing me. Also, challenges completed. Don't know what the fuck that means, but yeah, we got a D. No big deal. And then now, instead of just taking you straight to the next floor, you actually get a choice. And this is pretty good because, you know, like in the Binding of Isaac, if you go to the next floor and then it's a dark room, well, fuck me, it's a dark room. You can't see the map, right? Well, this one actually gives you the choice of choosing between 2 specific types of rooms. So, as you can see here, this one is the Despotent Culinary Holes, which its characteristics are Brogs, which is the main type of enemy you'll fight there, and then Cafeteria, parentheses, too big. So that means it's going to be like an extra large floor. And then this one, the Bleak Culinary Halls, Brogs again, but Cafeteria too small, so it's going to be a smaller floor than normal. As you can see, the backstory of the floors is the same, except for that last paragraph, which will explain the differences. As you can see, due to a miscommunication between student construction volunteers, this floor is larger than it should be. Those responsible have been reassigned to cellar excavation duties. So that just explains what too big means. And then this one, due to unexpected absence of several rooms that were here yesterday, this floor is smaller than expected. I'm going to go to the smaller floor, not only because I don't really want to deal with the big floor. Actually, I should go to the big floor, and I'll explain why right now. I got the item lottery thing, which makes it 50% chance that more champion mobs will spawn on the floor. And I believe that the bigger the floor, the more likely they'll spawn as well. So I think this will give me the best chance to get the maximum number of champion mobs that I can get on this floor. And, you know, that's in our best interest since champion mobs are the main way you get items. And items are the main way you power up, just like in any game with roguelike elements. I'm taking a lot of damage, but like I said, this game is very difficult. I find it much more difficult than Binding of Isaac. You know, in the Binding of Isaac, your hitbox is kind of like the center of your character, much like any bullet hell game that you've played, or that exists, I guess. But in Our Darker Purpose, your hitbox seems to be your entire character. So even if something like nips me in the ponytail, I'll take the full amount of damage for it, and it's hard to get used to because I have grown up playing, you know, the Binding of Isaac and bullet hell games. You know, your standard shmup library, but it's really hard to get into the mindset that if any part of me gets hit, I take damage. So it's something, it's a learning curve, I guess, but, you know, it's something that you'll notice that I'll be taking a lot of damage in this game. So that was a champion mob. He dropped an item. This item's actually one of, I think, so far from what I found, it's one of the best items in the game. Pick it up. Max crit chance, destroyed after taking 150 damage. So basically, now we're just going to be doing double damage until we take that 150 damage. So this is what I was talking about. The best items in the game so far seem to be ones that you lose if you take a certain amount of damage. So it rewards you for playing really well and punishes you for not playing at the best of your caliber, which I think is a great mix-up, you know? In the Binding of Isaac, you can get Mom's Knife and flying and all that, and it doesn't matter if you just take a shit ton of damage. You'll still have it in, like, no matter how long you play the game. But in this game, it's like, it gets a lot more stressful because you're like, if I take more damage, I'll lose all my items and I'll become less powerful, and then I'll start taking even more damage. It's like a terrible chain reaction of terrible. A terrible chain reaction of terrible. That it's like I didn't even try to come up with another word there. But I think you understood what I meant. So we'll keep exploring these floors. This is an interesting little thing. It's like an environmental thing that if you shoot it, it causes like a sort of shockwave that will damage everything around it, including you. And the cool thing about that is our critical hit power-up actually, what's the word I want to... gets transposed onto it. So if we have critical hit rate, or if we get a critical hit rate on, or a critical hit on those environmental things, they will do critical damage to everything around it as well. So that's pretty cool. There's another champion mob in this room. This is exactly what I wanted. So we'll be getting another item in this room. And yeah, it's pretty exciting. I have really good experience with this game so far. It's not the best, you know, twin stick shooter with roguelike elements I've played before. You know, obviously I'm going to have a fonder experience with Binding of Isaac, if anything, just because I've spent more time with it. You know, maybe this game will grow on me over my play with it, and maybe I'll end up liking it more than the Binding of Isaac. We get Prodigal Photo Album, plus 50% XP received. Yeah, I have the hardest time pronouncing words in English. I'm sorry, but you know, maybe this game will really grow on me as I play it more and as I get further and further into the actual world. But you know, so far it's not as good as Binding of Isaac in my opinion, but it definitely stands on its own. It's definitely a great experience. I feel really good about the money I spent on it. Here's another level up. What do we get? Plus 5 damage. Enemies are twice as likely to drop chalk, juice boxes, and tokens. Or 10% movement speed. Tokens get 20% interest at end of level. I think the bonus item drops. This is essentially Rabbit's Paw, but then we also get plus 5 damage. So that is fucking good, and I'll take it. But yeah, this game is definitely a hell of a good time. And I really like how difficult it is. There's a few things I don't like about it, but I'll have to touch up on them after I... Oh shit, survive for 4 seconds? Okay, so that's a... that brings me up to my next point, I guess. You know, I've been talking about how similar it is to the Binding of Isaac, but I'm finding more and more similarities with Rogue Legacy the more I play with it. There's which is that main thing that I don't like about it that I was going to explain later. I guess I'll talk about it a little bit now. There's an overarching progression system in the game. So, like, you know, if you ever played Rogue Legacy, or if you've ever seen Rogue Legacy, basically, you go into a dungeon, you survive for as long as you can, and then you die. And then when you respawn, you have all this gold that you got from that adventure, and then you can spend that on perks like permanent HP increases, permanent damage upgrades to make you stronger for the next run. I didn't really like that. I felt like it was too much of like a... I felt like it held your hand too much, you know? You didn't really have to learn the game or the monster's patterns so much as you had to just grind out and farm all of these abilities, and then you became like an unstoppable god of a machine. And I didn't really like that too much. And that exists in this game as well. I don't know if you can actually become as strong as you can in Rogue Legacy, or if it's just like, you know, minor upgrades. because I can't really see what the upgrades are yet. That was that the achievement we got by beating the first boss actually unlocked one of the upgrades, one of those overarching upgrades for us. So at least you have to work for the upgrades and like actually unlock them with achievements and stuff. But like I just feel like you'll get to the point where you're so strong that none of these early enemies, or maybe even none of the later enemies, will be that big of a deal for you, and you could just kind of steamroll the game. And I don't really like the idea of that. But I might just be, you know, totally wrong and just looking into it too much. But that's how Rogue Legacy ended up for me, and that's the main thing that kept me from, you know, absolutely loving Rogue Legacy. It's a great game, and I had a real fun time with it. But you know, I didn't think it was as good as it could have been because it just held your hand way too much towards the end. It had like a really high skill curve at the beginning, and then it just got easier, and I feel like that's not how a game should work. I feel like it should be easy or not even easy at first. I feel like it should be, you know, a little bit difficult at first and then get harder and harder and just keep like shoving your face in the dirt until you learn how to overcome it. So that was the first time I fought that boss, and man, he was hella easy. I just said hella because, you know, I've been to Northern California recently, and you pick up some lingo when you're there, man. But we got another D. That's not too bad. What do we got here? We got 3 choices this time. We've got the Opaque Lecture Halls, which is a classroom which is sensitive, which means all inhabitants and visitors to this floor are more vulnerable to pain. I don't want that. Another sensitive room, and a well-stocked cafeteria, but it's got a skull. I'm a little bit frightened about that. I think that just might mean that it's overall more difficult. But we get 6 credit rewards, as well as, for the convenience of our students, this floor houses multiple Edgewood dispensary devices. So it's going to have more than one shop, essentially. So we're going to go to this one, and hopefully we don't eat shit. But yeah, so there's an overarching upgrade system, and I don't know. I don't know how to... I don't want it to make me too powerful. That's how I feel about that right now. But more similarities with Rogue Legacy. There's also, like, if you've ever seen the game, there's kind of challenge rooms where you'll have to like avoid taking damage for a certain amount of time, or just like navigate this labyrinth of spikes in order to get rewarded with an item at the end. And this game has very similar things. There's like there's spike labyrinths and rooms where you have to survive in order to get a treasure chest, which will reward you with an item at the end. So I feel like they took, you know, the Binding of Isaac, things that were good in the Binding of Isaac, and things that were good in Rogue Legacy, and then wrapped those around a kind of dodge-centered, fast-paced, really difficult twin-stick shooter. And you know, they kind of made like a baby of the 2 games, and it's a lot of fun. It's a very fun game. And yeah, so far the farthest I've made it was the first like zone boss. The game's broken up into areas. I'm gonna call them areas and zones. So we beat the 2 bosses in the first 2 areas. There's 4 areas per zone, I think is the best way to word that. What do we got here? Plus 20 damage or plus 20% attack speed. I'm gonna go with damage, because I feel like that thing that skewed our range, it doesn't matter how fast we attack, sometimes we're just gonna miss. So I feel like doing more damage per shot is gonna be the best way to go. But yeah, so the 4th zone, or the 4th area in a zone, will be like the zone boss, and then you'll progress to the next zone. Here, this is a perfect timing for this. This is one of those Rogue Legacy-esque rooms I was talking about. This is like a labyrinth of ice that I have taken the wrong direction on, and basically you have a limited amount of time, 3, 2, 1, to get to the treasure chest, and if you don't get there fast enough, then it just explodes and you don't get the item inside. And so what do we get here? We get Sudsy's Ice Tray. Enemies shatter when destroyed. Okay, that sounds great. Oh, it turned our projectiles blue too. That's actually the first time I've seen the projectile change. So that's really interesting. Hopefully that'll come in handy. I accidentally just walked into the boss room, and this boss is pretty difficult. There's just so many projectiles going everywhere, but we have this, oh, okay, and, if any of these enemies get to the cauldron before I kill them, he actually heals for a shit ton of damage. But look at that Sudsy's Ice Tray. Those blue projectiles that are exploding out of the enemies are actually, what we just got, that item we just got. That's awesome. That causes some serious chain reactions. But, we're getting a lot of achievements this time. That's exciting. A lot of items we're gonna unlock. Oh, he's gonna get healed. There's no way for me to get to that. I'm just gonna kill this second guy. Hopefully I can kill these other ones in time. Sudsy's ice tray coming through in the clutch. So 2 of them got through, I think. He got healed for like 1,000 damage. But we're doing so much damage with this critical hit rate that and that damage up we got. So I don't really feel too bad about that. This is actually the smoothest that boss fight has ever gone for me. So we're gonna go explore the rest of the floor, obviously. Hopefully get another champion, get some more items. And I'd like to stock up on some more juice boxes. We're running a little bit low. Did I finish all my thoughts on Rogue Legacy? I feel like I might have left, like, or changed conversation in the middle of a thought there. But, you know, oh well. If that happened, then oh well. But, yeah. So let's talk about some unique things about the game. The dodge roll mechanic is, you know, the main one, because it's like, you have to use the dodge roll all the time if you want to be successful. And I feel like it really adds to the sense of stress, I guess, in the game, because you can't really outrun enemies without using the dodge roll, but you can't, like, attack while using the dodge roll, and it also doesn't really dodge moves for you unless you get, like, a dodge chance upgrade. So it's almost like, I don't know, I don't know how to explain it. I really don't know how to explain it. Sorry for that, but yeah, it's really stressful to use it all the time. Plus 30% slow on hit. I'm pretty sure we already have a plus 15% slow on hit. And plus 15% range. Let's check out the other shops, because there should be more than one. That's the floor we went to. We definitely have a slow on hit already. But yeah, I don't know. Maybe the thought I was trying to have about the dodge roll is it increases the skill ceiling. Like the Binding of Isaac, there's one way to dodge, really. You move out of the way, right? But in this game, I feel like there's like a mathematical formula to some of the more difficult rooms. Like there's always a direction. You shouldn't be dodging on top of spikes like I just did there, but there's like always a direction you should be dodging, and there's always one way to best handle the room. Well, in the Binding of Isaac, there's probably like so many different ways you can handle the room, and the outcome will always be the same. Sock snake, +1 shot when not moving. I don't get what that means. Plus 15% critical hit rate. I'm almost tempted to just like stock up on juice boxes, because my health is running a little bit low, and I am out of juice boxes. But yeah, another thing that I want to mention is like this game. Every enemy I've fought so far is just like such an asshole. You know, not to bring up the Binding of Isaac again. I feel like every other word I'm saying almost is the Binding of Isaac, but you know, the Binding of Isaac. Some enemies, I'm just like, yeah, okay, I like this room. This is a pretty good room. I'm fine with this. This is like the easiest room I could have come across. But in this game, it's like, God fucking damn it. Any enemy I come across is just like my worst nightmare. So I am going to, well, I'm going to get Unsettling Concoction, because this empowers juice boxes, which means that they heal us for actually 5 health more, I think, per juice box. So in the long run, that'll be a much better investment than a single juice box. But oh, that was almost bad. But I got that penny there. I can actually go afford another juice box. Is there another empowered concoction in that second shop? Because if I get 2 of them, that might be the best thing I could do. There is. Okay, so now my juice boxes should be healing for 30, which is great, because we also have that perk that increases the drop rate of juice boxes for enemies. So that's going to come in handy and going to synergize really well together. And we'll continue to the next floor. So this next floor I'm about to progress to is the farthest I've gotten in the game so far, just because I can't even understand how to beat this next boss we're about to fight. So there's only one choice for the zone boss, and it's always the same. I don't think this floor can have any special effects either. No! But these enemies, they outrun you if you're just running, so you actually have to time your dodge rolls in a way that makes you outrun them, which is a lot more difficult than it sounds. Those enemies are assholes. Because I can never dodge them. That penny's not worth it. It's just not worth it. But see, that's a good value proposition. Like, it's not worth getting a penny at risk of taking 7 damage, especially when the main item that's helping us do damage right now is gonna break after I take 150 damage. I feel like there's a lot more strategy and a lot more risk and reward to this game than there is in the Binding of Isaac. You know, I mean, in the Binding of Isaac, the biggest risk-reward thing that you've got going on is... Oh, shit. We've taken 150 damage. I lost my max crit rate thing. This is about to get a lot harder. But the max risk-reward thing you can do in the Binding of Isaac is either, 1, deal with the devils, which, you know, you sacrifice hearts in order to get an item. Or 2, walking into a cursed room. Maybe when you're, like, relying entirely on spirit hearts. But in this game, it's like, you know, do I want to risk losing my best items in order to explore more of the floor and possibly get, you know, even better items? Or do I want to just, like, rush the boss and try to take him out while I'm the strongest? It's a pretty interesting value proposition. And it really makes you think. And I think it's going to get to the point where there's going to be, like, a ton of different play styles for this game. There's going to be people that play really risky, people that play really safe, people that prioritize, you know, certain upgrades over others. And it's going to get to a really interesting metagame, I think. And I'm really excited to see how it plays out. And I can't stress enough how much I'm excited for this game because, you know, it is like the Binding of Isaac, which I enjoy a lot, but it's fresh. It's new. It's got that fresh coat of paint on it that, you know, even if this was a bad game, I think it would be, you know, pretty exciting and fun to play for a while just because it does have that fresh coat of paint and it is something new to experience. But, you know, on top of that, it's not a bad game. It's a great game. So, it's just got... It's holding my interest really well. Level up instantly on the next floor is what that item said. It said cookies of something. But, oh, this room's gonna suck dicks. Took 14 damage already. These guys are super fast. I wish enemies could hurt each other. That's one thing that I really wish could happen. I just took a shit ton of damage there. Hopefully this is the right way so I don't have to go through that room again. Because that room was a nightmare. Where's the last enemy? It's over there. He got stuck on that bed. There we go. We leveled up again. Okay, plus 20% movement speed or plus 25 life. Restore 2 health when you pick up an Edgewood Meridius token. This game has a lot of hard words, man. We're gonna get the importance of finding tokens. I don't know if that healed us for 25, but it increased our max health by 25. So that's good. And we're gonna fight another champion here. We're gonna get another item. This champion is actually really hard. Oh shit! What the fuck is that? I've never seen that enemy before. It just disappeared. I don't know. I don't know, man. Oh shit! What happened? They like snare you or some shit. Okay, so we have to heal up. What's this? Gorbavon's Sense of Fear plus 12% dodge. That seems really good. I wonder if that's only on dodge roll, or if that's like a permanent 12% chance to dodge. Oh, this is another item room. Ship in a bottle? On use summons Gale of Winds. Okay, so this is like the first on use item I've gotten, actually. So that's interesting. I wonder how long the cooldown is. I don't really want to use. Oh, I'm gonna use it and find out. 15 seconds. That's not bad at all. It looks like it's a pretty good item too. Not only does it look like it does damage, but it also destroys furniture. So that's pretty cool. We don't have any money, so we can't get anything there. I hope we find money, because we did get that perk that heals us when we find money. Oh, man, I really wish our dodge chance kicked in there. But you can't always get what you want. We're in kind of a harrowing health position right now. I'm at 58 out of 125, and I have 2 juice boxes. That's going to heal us for 60 total, so that won't quite get us to full health. There is a money, though. A coin. So we will be able to heal up a little bit. 3 HP. It's better than nothing. Better than nothing. If only we were finding more money, that would add up very quickly. But that is not the case. Oh, we found more money. Oh, that would have been really bad if I got hit there. 3 HP for 7 damage is not a good trade. But I didn't get hit, so let's not even think about it. We're just going to go straight down here. And straight to the boss. So this is the boss fight that I can't get past. I'm going to heal up. I do have 4 dust clouds, though. That's pretty exciting. I think the best way to do this boss is to take out these huts down below first. Because the hut up top has the boss health, and it's a shit ton of health. But these huts tend to die pretty quickly. So I think getting rid of them as fast as possible is the way to go here. Fuck. I'm already taking a lot of damage. There's just so much shit happening in this fight. Like, I feel like... Oh, man. I just can't keep track of everything. And, you know, I've played a lot of bullet hell games in my life, so I should be able to keep track of everything, but it's like combined with the fact that my hitbox is so large, I can't just like, you know, focus on the center of my body and try to center dodge everything. I have to focus on dodging everything with my entire body, and it's so fucking difficult. But it's fun. I think that's why I'm having so much fun, is because this game is so difficult. You know, it might not be for everyone, but I'm really enjoying it. I'm just gonna have to take damage here. Hopefully only once. Good, good, good. Let's remove this last fort down here. And I'm pretty sure that's gonna make it so all these... Oh, I should be using the Gale of Winds. What am I doing? It's my use item, and it's got such a short cooldown. I should be using it more efficiently. But we're pretty much gonna die here. I'm at 38 health. Oh man, 31 health, and I haven't even touched the boss itself yet. I've just taken care of those things that summon chalk. I should really be using dust clouds more efficiently, especially since they shoot arrows as well as you know, block all incoming bullets and do damage. Okay, so it looks like the Gale of Winds actually lasts 15 seconds, so I can have it up perpetually. That's pretty cool. Looks like dust clouds are still spawning, even though I killed that thing in the bottom. It's not cool, man. Or maybe the last ones just don't despawn. Oh, that was a clutch dodge. We're getting pretty close here. I'm pretty excited. Gale of Winds again. Oh, no, this is the part that, like, fucked me over last time. There's, like, a actual boss guy that comes out of the fort, and he's tanky as dicks. I'm gonna try to focus the fort down, though. Okay, I killed the fort. Now it's just this guy. Oh, you can kill that thing, too? That's interesting. Did not know that. I have one piece of chalk left. Ah, oh, fuck. Okay, 10 HP. This is bad. We're really close. I would really like to beat this guy. I don't see it happening, but I mean, I can believe, right? A man can dream. Oh man, if I can just destroy this. Okay, I destroyed it. That's gonna make things simpler. Now I'm gonna try to destroy the other one. Oh shit! I have to make sure I don't take damage though. Priority is not taking damage. Oh, I took damage. 22 hits? Or 22 health in one hit? Oh man, that's the closest I've ever gotten though. Half health on Gonarel. That's it's pretty good. We're gonna return to start here, and I'm gonna show you a little bit about that progression system. So, well, here's the item log. We can review the items we've gotten. Let's see what that cookie thing was called. Cookies of Discipline. It's a good name. Good name. So, this is the class schedule. This is our overall progression system that we have going on here. So, as you can see, I have gained 50% range when standing still equipped, as well as gain up to 20% extra crit chance when near enemies. And I unlocked this previously, start with 8 coins, which seems really good, but this is the one we unlocked this playthrough, and that's extra 2 vending machine slots. So this was unlocked by beating the first boss without taking damage. And so that seems pretty good. As you can see, we have 0 periods left down here, and each period allows you to equip one of these things. Actually, you need 2 periods to equip the hacking one, so that's interesting. I believe the only way to get periods is by donating credits to the counselor here. And these credits in the bottom left-hand corner, the red diamonds, you get a certain number per floor that you complete. So, I mean, like, you can just keep throwing yourself at floors and dying, and then you'll get more and more credits, and then you'll get more and more powerful, and you'll be able to progress further in the game. And I mean, I guess that's better than just repetitively eating shit, or just eating shit over and over again. But on the other hand, like, as long as you don't get too powerful, I think it's okay. Like, Rogue Legacy, it just got to the point where I felt like I was just God himself, and I could just kill anyone I wanted. And I didn't really like that. So, hopefully that doesn't happen in this game. I think I might be, like, reading too far into this, you know, especially since it was so early on. But, you know, I have my worries. So, that's as far as this progression system. I'm actually gonna leave credits here with the excuse me. Do I have to push enter? Okay, so I left credits with him. He didn't give me anything this time, but as you can see over here, I've already received an additional juice box capacity. Normally you can only hold 3 juice boxes, now I can hold 4. And then we have an extra class period that allowed me to equip this second class here. So let's go back to the main menu here, and the memory book kind of shows you descriptions of all the bosses. Also, it shows you the achievements associated with each boss, so you'll be able to unlock the class period associated with him. So, as you can see, the one that we keep dying to, or that we die to this time at least, is this guy, who's the bully now, deal over 400 damage with a basic attack on an enemy, so, you know, that's something we'll work towards eventually. But then, yeah, it looks like there's a lot of bosses I haven't fought in the first set of levels yet, so that's pretty cool. But in any case, that's going to be the first episode of Our Darker Purpose. Hopefully, you know, it was enjoyable. Hopefully you learned something. Hopefully I didn't ramble on like an idiot for the entire time. And hopefully my comparisons weren't too off base. But in any case, I hope you guys enjoyed watching the video. If you liked the video, feel free to throw me a thumbs up. And if you want to see more content similar to this, feel free to subscribe to my channel. I have a really hard time saying similar. But, you know, thanks again for watching, and I will see you next time.